How's it going, Kimberly? I didn't know how to explain this in a email back to you, so I decided to just um, send you a video. So I just wanted to draw your attention to I know you were asking about like weak acids, weak bases, their conjugates. I wanted to draw your attention between the difference between hydrofluoric acid and hydrochloric acid. Now you may have heard in Orgo, because I remember the professor I took mentioned this, that hydrofluoric acid is a weak acid, while hydrochloric acid is a strong acid. Now let's look at the reaction here. We see that we have a reversible reaction. It's in equilibrium. It converts between the forms for hydrofluoric acid. And in contrast, hydrochloric acid yields H plus and Cl minus. So we know that HF is a weak acid. If HF were to yield a strong base, let's come down here to the reaction of NaOH to dissociation of OH minus, right? We know that a strong base completely dissociates into OH minus and does not go in the reverse direction. If we applied that same logic to the conjugate base of a weak acid, that would mean that this reaction goes only exclusively to the left. Does that make sense? We would only if we assume this was a strong base and this was a weak acid, we wouldn't have this here. It would just be this arrow right here, which would mean that HF wouldn't be an acid at all because it wouldn't be able to deprotonate. Do you see where this logic kind of like falls apart, where a weak acid yields a strong base? We kind of have to think this in relative terms, because if you compare F minus to Cl minus, it can pick up a proton and become HF, hydrofluoric acid, but Cl minus can't pick up H plus again and become HCl. So in that sense, the conjugate base of a weak acid is stronger than the conjugate base of a strong acid, but it's still relatively weak if you were to compare it to something like NaOH as a base. So I hope that makes sense. You can also think about this in the reverse direction as well. If this is a sodium acetate, or just acetate, if it picks up an H+, this is a weak base. If it picks up an H+, and you assume this becomes a strong acid, what happens with strong acids? They completely dissociate. So therefore, this reaction wouldn't be in equilibrium. It wouldn't be reversible. It would simply go in this direction, which is not the case. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, come to my office hours. I hope I made this video short and understandable for you. Have a great day.